Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about difficult road for India in Afghanistan. So this is basically a topic about the current situation that is prevailing in Afghanistan and how India is going to tackle this situation given the circumstances that China and Pakistan both playing their card in the Afghanistan. So now let us discuss what is the current situation in Afghanistan. We all know that on 15th of August the Kabul fell to the Taliban forces, and that in fact ended the war that was going on in Afghanistan. And with the control of Kabul by the Taliban forces, a new kind of geopolitical contestation has begun in the Afghanistan to own the spoils of the Taliban's victory. So in that context, we will try to understand what is the interest of China and why India want to be a relevant force in Afghanistan. It is a kind of departure from India's earlier policy when India isolated itself. Now India wants to be very much part of that negotiation, whatever kind of government is going to take shape in the Afghanistan. So yeah. So next point is New Delhi's attempt at forming a regional consensus to stabilize Pakistan is a wise and timely decision, but it will its achievement will depend upon the role of China-Pakistan coalition and its interest at play in and over Afghanistan. So India's interest in Afghanistan and its success will depend upon whether Chinese support us, Pakistanis support us, or they want India to remain isolated from the any kind of government formation in Afghanistan. So in that context, we are going to discuss this topic. So these are few maps. I mean, this shows the geopolitical scenario in Afghanistan. So if you look at the map, China has proximity, India has distant proximity, Pakistan has immediate proximity. So every country wants to play their card in the region, and the biggest crisis is that of humanitarian in the Afghanistan. So what are the Chinese interest? So Afghan is sitting on mineral deposit estimated to be worth up to 3 trillion, and the country is probably home to what may be the world's largest reserve of lithium. And we all know that lithium is used in the manufacturing of lithium ion batteries, and China is a big manufacturer of this lithium ion battery, and the success of electric vehicle will depend upon the success of this lithium ion battery, and that is why China wants to tap this 3 trillion reserve of this lithium. China dominates lithium ion battery production worldwide. It may seek long term a contract with the Taliban to develop Afghanistan's massive untapped lithium reserve in return for mining rights and ownership arrangements. Afghanistan is also rich in several other resources such as gold, oil, bauxite, rare earths, chromium, copper, natural gas, uranium, coal, iron ore, lead, zinc, gemstone, talc, sulfur, travertine, gypsum, and marble. So given the huge untapped resources of minerals, China has long-term interest in the region of Afghanistan. We all know that China is pursuing Belt and Road Initiative. China's strategic Belt and Road Initiative could get more reach if it able to extend the initiative from Pakistan to Afghanistan with a Peshawar to Kabul motorway. The road, which is already being discussed, would create a much shorter land route for faster and convenient access to markets in the Middle East for the Chinese goods. So, if the Chinese are able to exercise their control, some kind of indirect control in the Afghanistan, definitely they would go ahead with the extension of Belt and Road Initiative, and they will include Kabul in the route also, and this will allow the Chinese goods to travel to the Middle East, and from there through Central Asia they can also reach to the Europe also. Another point that is significant is the Turkestan Islamic Movement, also known as the East Turkestan Islamic Movement, is an Uyghur extremist organization founded in Western China with the aim to establish an independent state called East Turkestan in the palace of Xinjiang. According to UN Security Council, the ETIM, that is East Turkestan Islamic Movement, had its roots in Afghanistan as it received support from Taliban and Al Qaeda in 2000s. So, this is another point, that is why they want to maintain their interest intact in Afghanistan, so that they can control this territory, so that any radical movement that may emerge in Xinjiang province, the Chinese would be in a better position to control it. Now, what does India want? India wants a inclusive government in Afghanistan that is based on pluralism and democratic values. As we all know that India has hugely invested in the social infrastructure of Pakistan, be it school, colleges, parliament building, libraries. So, India want to have a democratic and stable Afghanistan which have a good relations with India, so that even if Chinese are hostile, at least one of our neighbors would be in favor. So, that is why we want to have a stable Afghan government. We also want that the territory of Afghanistan is not used for the purpose of harboring terrorism in India. So, its soil should not be used to harbor terrorism in India. Control over contraband substances production. Afghanistan is hub of this opium production and all the contraband substances, and from there through Pakistan it is routed to India and other parts of the world. We want to stop that also. India also want to have better trade relations with the Afghanistan and to secure Indian investment built during the previous regime. India had invested huge amount of money in Afghanistan in creating a new Afghanistan. We don't want those money to go in vain. That is why we want to have a working relationship with the Afghanistan government. And let me remind you that it is an interim government. So India wants whatever final government is elected in this Afghanistan territory, it should be inclusive. That is, all the members, all the sections of the societies are represented, including the women population. So recently, what are India's what kind of effort India is making to secure its interest in Afghanistan? Recently, on 10th of November in 2021, New Delhi has concluded third regional security dialogue. Third regional, so before that there were two dialogues that had happened already. One was in Russia, another was in Iran, and the third took place in New Delhi. So it included countries like Russia, Iran, and other Central Asian countries, and this regional security dialogue ended with the Delhi Declaration on the Afghanistan. So the dialogue has sent out three strong messages. The first one is India wishes to remain an important and engaged player in the future of Afghanistan. That India wants to remain a relevant and important player in the future of Afghanistan, because for the last 20 years India has been investing into Afghanistan, and India has already invested a lot of things in Afghanistan. So we want to be relevant in this future building of Afghan nation. That with the exit of US NATO troops, the ideal solution to the situation is through consensus in Afghanistan's extended neighborhood, including Russia. We want that India, along with other nations which are in extended neighborhood of Afghanistan, should play a big role so that the country can be stabilized and the radical forces can be kept in control. That Afghan humanitarian crisis should be the region's immediate priority, and political differences can be set aside to help. India also want that there is a immediate need to help the people of Afghanistan who are suffering a lot because of many important things, many necessities are not available to them. That is why India wants to play an active role in the Afghanistan region. So now we will see what are the challenges and what are the concerns that India is facing while engaging with the Taliban. While third regional security dialogue on Afghanistan, I have missed, was an important initiative to help Afghanistan stabilize. The reality is that the two countries that are key to stability in Afghanistan, China and Pakistan, decided to stay away from it. So on India's call, the China and Pakistan did not bother to attend this meeting held in New Delhi. This is symbolic. It means that both the countries, China and Pakistan, don't want any kind of role that India may play in the future building of Afghanistan. So they thought it is better not to attend, otherwise it will give legitimacy to India's effort in Afghanistan. So they kept themselves aloof. These instances indicate that Pakistan would not let India to either develop close relation with Taliban or be a part of any regional setup to stabilize the country. More so, it is likely that the more India gets close to Taliban, the more Pakistani side will increase the heat. Precisely, it will increase the attack in Jammu and Kashmir. So how Pakistan will prevent India from engaging with the regime in the Afghanistan? So many analysts are saying that Pakistan may hone its gun towards India by increasing the terrorist attack in Jammu and Kashmir, and that way they will try to keep India separated from the Afghanistan. And this is the situation, this is the dilemma which we call as catch-22 situation for India. If the Taliban regime is stabilized in Kabul without India's assistance to country, the more it is likely to do Pakistan's bidding vis-a-vis India. On the other hand, the more India helps the Taliban-led Afghanistan, the more Pakistan will up the ante in Kashmir. So this is a situation where if India keep itself isolated from the Afghanistan, then Pakistan will say, see, we have helped building in Afghanistan, we played an active role in building the Pakistan, and India did not help the Afghan people. So that way they will never allow India to enter into, in any kind of future negotiations in Afghanistan. But on the other hand, if India joins hand with the other forces and India tries to play an active role in Afghanistan, then probably Pakistan may increase its attack on the Kashmir. So Pakistani policy was, so why we are saying this, that because there is a stark difference when we look at the Pakistan's policy towards India before the control of Taliban, before the control of Kabul by the Taliban, and after that incident. So Pakistani policy was conciliatory towards India on Kashmir before and in the run up to the Taliban takeover of Kabul in August 2021 seems to have disappeared for now. The February ceasefire agreement between India and Pakistan and the subsequent reduction in violence in the Kashmir, infiltration of terrorists from Pakistani side to Kashmir, terror attacks in Kashmir and ceasefire violations on the line of control were a direct result of the back channel understanding between the two sides. Now, before the Taliban took over the Kabul, Pakistan had a conciliatory approach with India vis-a-vis Kashmir. Now, they in principle agreed that if India will restore the normalcy in the political setup in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, then definitely Pakistan will start negotiating with India on the Kashmir issue. But after the takeover, the situation has entirely changed now. Sentiments from across the border also indicate that it would accept the Indian decision to withdraw the special status of Kashmir in lieu of New Delhi restoring statehood to Kashmir and allowing political activity in the state has now changed. It now demands that India fully revert to the August 5, 2019 position on Kashmir. In other words, the Pakistani conciliatory approach in Kashmir lasted only till the Taliban take over the Kabul. So once the Taliban had taken over the Kabul, Pakistan is in a state of jubilation, and they have a sense of triumph, and that is why now they want that the Pakistan want that they would play their card very well, and they will keep India remain isolated. So one incident that is very significant, the appointment of Sardar Masood Khan, former Pakistan occupied Kashmir president, as Pakistan's ambassador to the US is perhaps yet another indication of the centrality of the Kashmir in Pakistan foreign policy in the wake of Taliban takeover of Kabul. So the Pakistan has appointed Mr. Sardar Masood Khan as their ambassador in the USA, so that they can start fighting salvo against India, and they will try to convince the US that India is doing this and India is doing that in Kashmir. So with that intention, they have appointed the new ambassador in the United States. This will mean that any possibility of India-Pakistan cooperation in Afghanistan would be very hard to achieve. Beijing will play along, so will Iran and the Central Asian countries for the most part. So this is the difficult situation that India is in today, while trying to maintain a kind of working relationship with the Afghan regime, so that long-term interest of the India remain intact. Thank you.